Hi guys, it is Grace with Grace Gets Gastric, and today is Thursday, February 6th. It's about 7:15, and I am about to leave my hotel. I'm gonna go down and get some breakfast, and then I'm going to head off to the airport and fly home. So I figured I would do a little vlog today. We'll see how things go. But like I said, it's 7:15. Woke up at like 5:30, finished up packing. One of the nurses came and gave me a shower. She didn't do my hair, but she washed the rest of me, dried me off. And I have got dressed in my usual flying outfit. So, like I said, about to go get breakfast. Our flight is at 1:15 and we're leaving here at 8:15 because the border can be super easy or super fast, or it can take hours. So we'll possibly get to the airport a little bit early and have some time to kill, but I'll let you know. Alright, so we have made it through the border, and I am at my gate. It is currently about 10 o'clock and my flight is at 1:15, but we knew we were going to get here early because of that. I did get wheelchair service, so the San Diego airport has like check-in outside, and so my driver just went up, had them bring the wheelchair to the car. We got in. We checked bags, so we just went up and checked, our luggage we'd already checked in, and then went through security. We have TSA pre-check, which is also really nice. I don't know if having wheelchair service without TSA pre-check, if you still have to go through a longer line, but he basically just took me through the regular line. I feel like normally when I see it at the airport, they're going through some more stuff special, but not this time. But it was because I have to pre-check. It was super fast. We got through the airport in like 15 minutes. So I'm at the gate now. My mom is getting us coffee. I am having a little bit of pain, kind of like a sharp stabbing pain in my lower right drain site. I think it's because I'm wearing compression leggings, so I think it's just adding extra pressure. I'm also wearing like my faja underneath that, but I think the fact that it's pressing, I don't know, it's more painful than it has been at all. So I did take brought a couple of muscle relaxers, and so I'm going to take one when my stepmom gets back with my latte, because yeah, it's really already bothering me like quite a lot. It's just a very localized pain. It's just right there, but it is pretty sharp and intense. So that's where I'm at. I will probably eat lunch before I board, so maybe I'll show you that. But so far, so good. Alright, so it is 11:30 and boarding begins in about an hour, so I got lunch. I got some Panda Express. I'm kind of a little bit in vacation mode and recovery mode, but I know once I go home, I've got all my meals prepped, I've got everything ready, so I'm just going to slide right back into how I should be eating. But for now, I'm allowing myself to indulge just a smidge. Alright, it is 4:45. I am looking shiny, and I have landed back home. I am currently at baggage claim, sitting in my very uncomfortable wheelchair. Wheelchair service is definitely clutch, I would say. So, I'm just trying to walk that length of pathway from the plane to here would have not been the thing. So definitely recommend, if you do this, that you get the wheelchair service even if you don't think you need it, because it really is just that little extra bit. Anyways, our bags are coming now. We're going to catch a taxi. We were going to do an Uber, but the Uber rideshare place is a lot farther away and you have to wait for it, and I just want to be home. So I'm like, I'll pay you a little bit of extra money to get an immediate taxi and not have to take a long time to get there. So I think that's what we'll do, and I'll go ahead and update you when I'll update you when you get there. Hi, I'm home. So I got home. We took a taxi, and they took us here. That's kind of how that tends to work. Anyways, I'm sitting in my medical recliner right now, and I'm about to empty my drains. So you can see my bottle, my little alien babies. I'm about to record the output. I did come home with a bit of medication, so I just took, I think, what is my last antibiotic, and I think I have 2 more days of blood thinner shots, which I'm not excited about. And then I have some muscle relaxers and Tylenol and stool softeners, I believe, is everything that I have. So I'll go through and look at that. It is currently 6 o'clock, so I got here probably about a half hour ago. Or that drain side I mentioned earlier in the day just hurt like a bitch all flight and all day. And I think it's because the pad, so you put a pad down, I think I talked about, just to help prevent any of that to drain, just to collect any site drainage. And I think it was just not cut the right length, and so it was tugging on it the whole time. Anyways, I had to redress that wound, if you will, and that was like the first thing I did. And now I am going to empty my drains. My Amazon order also came, or part of my Amazon order came, and it was it all came. So I ordered 2 tailbone cushions. So I will let y'all know if I find a good one, and some probiotics and all of that stuff I think I talked about in a previous video. So that all came, which is nice. I also ordered some white chocolate chips from Chalk Zero. I'm not a big white chocolate fan, but I got the protein cookie butter in like whatever the Oreo cookie type flavor is from Flexible Dieting Lifestyle, and he has a few recipes that uses white chocolate chips, and I do think it will go well with that because it's kind of like the Oreo white chocolate sort of vibe. It'll be the frosting vibe. So I got those to play with since I'm gonna be stuck in my house for a while. But I think in a moment I'm going to do my drains and then probably try to find something to eat. So maybe I'll show you what we're doing. Oh, so one thing I wanted to mention, I just emptied my drains. They did kind of puff up a little bit. Sorry for the bad lighting, by the way, but in the airplane, they did sort of like expand. So like they're supposed to be like this so that they suction, but they did kind of puff up a little bit. You know how if you have like a bag of chips or, a tube of something, like it kind of puffs up. So it did the same thing to the drains. So I just make sure that they're really, really tight and suction before you go on. They didn't puff up all the way by any means, but it was, were affected. And also just a note that the fluid that, so spoiler, not spoiler, but I'm going to show you kind of like, that was all of my drain fluid. It doesn't smell or anything. It doesn't have any kind of distinct smell in my opinion. So, it's not cute, but it's whatever. Also, fun fact. So I got on the scale and I'm swollen as fuck, and I just traveled, and so I'm extra swollen, and I'm wearing clothes. I was wearing clothes. I was wearing my drains and all that, and I was at 185, which is wild. That is 7 pounds less than I was when I left here. And so the fact that because he removed 15 pounds of skin, but I honestly didn't think I would still be so low. That's like 7 pounds of swelling. I guess that's a decent amount. We'll see what I'm at tomorrow when I wake up, but thought that was funny. Hello, I forgot to come back to you with my dinner, but I ended up eating some pork carnitas with Brussels sprouts mix that I had one of my frozen meals, just popped in the microwave, and it was perfect. I wasn't quite sure how those containers were going to work out, so in terms of heating up in the microwave, if they would melt, and they worked out great. So that went well. I just wanted to mention I am definitely extra swollen from the flight. Obviously I already had quite a bit of swelling, but I can feel everything feels tighter. Like my compression garments are a lot tighter and it's harder for me to move. And I can see on my leg, let me see if I can show you. Like, I don't know if you can see the way that it like indents and pushes out. I don't know if you could see that, but it wasn't doing that before, so it's definitely puffing out quite a bit. So I'm really curious to see how the scale reacts. Now that I'm home, I'm actually very excited because I'm a daily weigher if you've been watching me for any amount of time, and I am not generally overly bothered with fluctuations, and especially at this point, I would like to be lower than 192, which is what I went into plastics with because there was 15 pounds of skin removal, but I would like to end up less than 192. I don't care if I'm higher than that now because of swelling, but as I mentioned earlier today, when I weighed myself, I was 185, which is wild, but I also feel like maybe I've been swelling even more since then. So we shall see. I think honestly this might kind of round out this not vlog. It wasn't terribly exciting. I feel like it was more exciting when I was going down there, but I did kind of just want to chat with y'all virtually, but also document and talk about my experiences while flying in case anyone had any questions or concerns or thoughts, because I know I did. I got wheelchair access, which I definitely think was key. for sure. I can move for small distances or even like longer distances if I have to, but it gets very uncomfortable. So going through the airport would have been miserable without it. Borderline impossible, even with me not carrying any of my luggage. My stepmom just took both of our bags. She was able to drag both of our bags. We checked our bags, so she really just had to do it to and from the car. As far as the seat, we did get just economy seats. We didn't upgrade to first class, but because I was wheelchair access, they kind of put us into a premium seat. So I was like in the very first row behind first class. So, and because of the way it was structured, I actually was able to put my bags underneath the first class seats, which are bigger. So I had more space to put them. Plus I had a bunch of leg room. So that was really nice. And I do think that was because we requested wheelchair access. They didn't say anything, but they changed our seats, so I'm guessing that was what it was. We both had, me and my stepmom each had an aisle seat. It was a plane with 2 seats on each side, and so we each had an aisle seat, which worked out fine for us. But I had no problems. I mean, the seat was fine, like it fit me fine. It wasn't uncomfortable because I had that extra leg room, but I'm also quite tall, and I would say if you are bringing, I would recommend bringing some kind of tailbone pain thing, because especially if you're a weight loss patient and you experience like tailbone pain if you have prolonged sitting, just generally in the plastic surgery thing, that would be helpful to have. So I meant actually, and I'm annoyed because I have a neck pillow and I meant to bring that to use for that specific purpose, and I forgot it at home. And I didn't want to buy a new one, so I ended up just using like a sweatshirt that I rolled into like a donut thing and sat on that, and that seemed to more or less help. But I would say that was definitely key. Some discomfort in terms of back pain a little bit. I mean, not even pain, but just like, it's almost like if you hunch a lot and then you finally like try to sit up straight and properly, and then your back starts to hurt, from your muscles doing new things. It's kind of like that on occasion, but I mean, I was able to shift and find a comfortable spot, so it was honestly totally manageable for me. But I also want to be clear that it was a 3-hour direct flight, so it was a fairly easy way of doing things. Your mileage literally may vary depending on where you're at, and I would say I would not have been really excited to do a longer flight for that. And I would definitely probably want to do direct personally. But again, I think it's all just going to be personal preference at that point. But I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, obviously, there was some mobility issues in terms of like reaching under the seat and all that. And so my stepmom would do that for me. And partially too, because my drain site was being such a little dick, and like really giving me a lot of pain. That made it extra hard for me to move because it was painful every time I moved. And so again, the fact that I had a companion with me was really helpful. I think that I could have been fine. I would have been fine without it. Like I would have probably just asked for the stewardess to help me, because they asked me when I boarded if there was anything that they could do to help me or etc. So I think if I hadn't been alone, like if I really needed them to grab something for me, they could have, and I could have like set things up to make sure I wouldn't have to. So, but yeah, otherwise, I think that's kind of everything. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about the day. And I think I kind of talked about some of the main questions that I know I had about traveling home after plastic surgery. But if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask them down below. If you're asking me any general questions about my plastic surgery, please do look through my playlist first and watch those videos. If you have a question about the quote, there's a whole video on that. I have a Q&A video. Just do a little bit of homework before asking me. But if you have any questions about traveling home after plastic surgery that I didn't address here, or any questions about, that, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Feel free to like and subscribe if you would like to. And I'll see you in my next video.